I just went live.
Yes.
Okay. It's good, right?
Looks great. Looks perfect.
Okay, so I'll be talking this way, that way.
Bing, bing, bong. Is it too high up, maybe?
Why are you full screen? You know, I'm gonna actually, I'm gonna take the phone and put it on the shelves, just gonna like look downward.
Oh, it's on your phone.
Yeah.
This way better, no? Or is this the only option? Can you record? Can you do this way?
I think so. Alright, I'm turning, guys. Turning.
Nope. Wait, keep going. Keep going. Let's see 30 seconds. Yes, it does. This is better.
Guys, we're just getting set up now. Whoever's here right now. Oh, we got Ryan.
Keep her going.
Sanctuary Pizza. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna have to change it back though, because like, if I'm I guess it works, right?
Can you see? You want to see my my screen?
I can see it on my screen.
All right, cool.
I see words are coming.
Yeah,
We got Ryan, we got cheese pizza. What's up, guys? Just trying to get set up here. I should go a little higher. Working here. Yeah, I'll go a little higher. How's everybody doing? A little higher. Do-do. Cool. Alrighty. So we got a couple minutes. It's so seamless, right?
Has anyone ever considered streaming video games on this platform? Oh, okay. I think it'd be a good idea. I'm the comedic relief part. You're the serious guy? No, you're the real funny guy, actually.
Hey, Saturday morning pizza. Thanks for joining. Oh, 10 people! Wow. Just give it another minute.
Let's see.
So there might be a lot of moving around, right? So I got my laptop here, camera's here, but I'm probably gonna move you guys up here so you can see like from top down. I'm gonna do some, dough work, things like that. So don't get too dizzy. Oh, what's up, Elliot? Thanks for joining. Oh, this is a little awkward. It says pan pizza demo, but this won't be made in a pan today, so sorry about that. Why do I want to start doing demos on Twitch? Part of it is like I wanted to, educate people on how to, just make pizza. Part of it's also my brand is Next Level Pizza, and Twitch is, I guess, kind of not really a gaming platform, but it is very gaming centric. So there's like kind of a branding element there. But I think it's also just a new platform for me to explore. You know, I don't want to just be tied to one single thing like Instagram or TikTok, whatever. Yeah, I like teaching, so there's a bunch of reasons. As a platform, I think Twitch is, from what I've done so far, it's been very seamless. Like, there's no lag. It's pretty easy to join and like share the stream. I like that about it. So I'm still learning. Right. Thank you. That's the first time I've heard that term. Okay, it's 7 o'clock. I think we can start getting into the motions of things here. Got 14 people on. I'm going to talk this way. Alright guys, welcome. This is my second stream for Next Level Pizza. I'm going to be doing a demo today on what they call Tavern style pizza or cracker thin pizza, Chicago cracker thin, multiple names. I got a lot of requests for this style. This is going to be a little different from, I guess, what people call bar pizza, which is made in a pan. This is made just directly on a stone. My version of it borrows heavily from Tony Gimignani, from his book, The Pizza Bible. I think it's pretty different from what's out there for cracker thin. There's no fats in this formula. Use the Poolish, which is a kind of starter. Think of like a non-sourdough starter, I guess, in just very basic terms. There's like a par baking step that I like to do, and yeah, it's such a fun style of pizza. Like it's very easy. It's easy to share, easy to eat. Like you cut into like what they call a tavern cut, little squares. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So yeah, I guess we'll just dive right into it. Okay, so this is what I want to do. We're gonna make this, okay? So I like to do a par bake for cracker thin, right? So this is without the sauce on top, none of the cheese, right? And the cool thing with this is, right, you can do this like a day ahead and keep it in like store in like the cooler, you know, wrapped up, which actually also cures it and it gets even drier. And when it's time to make pizzas the next day, you just top and bake. You do your sauce, your cheese, you bake. It's very, very quick. I've done some parties with this where I did the par baking in my home oven, and then the next day I'll just bake in my uni, in my outdoor oven. So it's a lot of fun. Very low stress if you're like trying to do like catering, that kind of thing. So we're gonna make a crust like that. I made this one ahead of time just to kind of make sure my dough is good. I'm gonna move you guys up to the shelf so you can get kind of like a top-down view. Bear with me here. Okay. Can you guys see? That's good? Hello? Okay. Got my pizza socks. Got any dishwashing gloves around? I don't think we're gonna need any right now. Alright, okay, so where's my dough? My dough's right here. I guess let's talk a little bit about this dough first. Get my notes right here. So this dough, where do I start? Let's start with, I guess, the flour, right? I think the flour for this particular style is one of the most important things. So when I say style, not like the style itself, but like for the way I'm going to do it today, I'm going to be using Heckers. It's also known as Ceresota. This flour, it's an all-purpose, but I would say it's like closer to, it's like a higher protein all-purpose, if that makes sense, right? Like it's got a little more chew than like your like other all-purpose flours you might be used to. Great flavor. I feel that like this is the best flour for this one. It's also the one that Tony recommends in his book. So this will be the main flour that we're going to be using. And I'll try to post the formula later, but what we're doing, the recipe I used today is what yields about 3 10-ounce dough balls, right? So that is going to be with the Heckers, and we're going to have a little bit of cornmeal as well. It's like medium grind. So you have about, of your total flour, it's 90% of the Heckers, all-purpose, and you have some of this cornmeal, corn flour, cornmeal. And we're going to be stretching into cornmeal as well. I find that the cornmeal is really good for adding like a touch of sweetness as well. Yeah, it's very different from other pizzas I worked on, but yeah, the flavor is really good, and it does get like a nice color as well. I usually like to, I have a my own mill, and I'll add like popcorn kernels, and I'll like mill and sift out from there. You don't have to go that crazy. You can just get your own cornmeal. So the total hydration for this, for people who are doing baker's percentages, is 65%. We're going to use what's called a Poolish, which is a starter. It's going to be 20% Poolish. Let's see, for flour, if anyone wants to write this down, you're going to use 430 of the Heckers, 23 grams of the cornmeal. So the water content is going to be 65 in total, so that's going to be 280 grams, and then we're going to have the Poolish separately, right? So the 280 will be 62, and then the rest will be, from the Poolish, it'll be up to 65. What else we got here? I like to do 2% sugar, so that's 10 grams sugar, 2% salt, 10 grams of salt, and the Poolish is going to be between like 90 and 100 grams. I guess I'll talk about Poolish real quick. It's like a starter. You might have heard of like a sourdough starter. This is a starter that's used equal parts flour and water, and just like maybe a third of an eighth of a teaspoon, right? You just need a little bit of that. You mix that up, and once that's bubbly, that's your starter. So I find that that's really key for making this pizza succeed, right? Because it gives extensibility to the dough. You're able to stretch it out nice and thin. Gives it great flavor, great crisp. And like I said, you don't need oil for this method. From what I've seen, my experience with like Chicago Tavern pizza, a lot of people like to use a lot of fats in it. With this method, you actually don't need fats. So let me just take a quick break, see if there's any questions in the chat. Oh, how long do you ferment it for? So you can do up to 48 hours with this. You can do, what I did was I did an overnight Poolish, and then I did a very long bulk ferment, balled it before I went to bed, and then it's been fermenting for 2 days. So I find like 2 days is ideal for this. It'll be really nice and extensible, get a lot of flavor that way. You can do a 24-hour ferment as well, you know, depending on your needs. So yeah, that's about how long I'll ferment it. So I said 280 grams of water, and then the 62, it's 62%. That 280 is the 62% of the total water, right? So the total water is 65%. The rest of that water is coming from our Poolish, right? Because it's equal parts flour and water. Cool? I know Jimmy likes using a Poolish, right? Okay. Let's see, I think we can get right into it. I also, what I like about this style, I like, you know, putting the dough in these little soup containers. This also happens to be a good portion for, portioning method for the cheese as well. Alright, so I'll get into this later, but like, you know, if you get a bunch of these, you can really, like, logistically set yourself up for success very easily with this. This is almost, I would say, 200 grams. It's like 180 to 200 grams of a cheese blend. So, but I like keeping it here. Unlike other styles of pizza where you want to be very sensitive to capturing the gases, because we're going to be, you know, part baking and really rolling this flat, we don't have to worry so much about preserving the shape as much. Sometimes you'll notice, like this guy is about to burst, right? So sometimes on a hot day, this will like just pop very suddenly. So you don't have to do it this way. I just like doing it because it's like easy to store in the fridge. Yeah, I don't really use sourdough for this style. Yeah, I don't really look for kind of the flavors you'd see in a sourdough for this. I've had the most success with the Poolish. And I like to use the cornmeal as the kind of the dusting flour for this one. Okay. I add a little oil to the container, just like a drop, just so it's easy to get this guy out. Alrighty. This has been fermenting for a very long time, so you can see it's like very slack, very, very pliable, easy to work with. Again, the Poolish. I want to note real quick, like, you know, we call it cracker thin, right? Like, this method, even though we're saying cracker thin, like, notice all these, like, little bubbles, right? Like, even though it's thin, there's still this, like, little micro, I guess, fermentation, whatever you want to call it. So it's still, like, loaded with flavor, really good texture because of the Poolish. So we're going to stretch this out. So I like to, before I use the rolling pin, which is, I really recommend using like one of these really big rolling pins if you can get them. It'll make your job really easy for this. You want one of these rolling pins and a dough docker, because we're gonna use the docker to make sure this doesn't blow up in the oven, right? So before rolling out, open flat. As far as it'll go, you flip it over. Okay, because we're pressing it flat, we don't have to worry about shaping it. We're going to be able to fix it. If it gets any oblong, we can turn it while we're rolling it flat, right? So all the way out. See that? Now we'll turn. Make sure you take the dough out from the fridge a couple hours before you plan on stretching it. One, because you don't want to work with cold dough. Cold dough tends to like snap back. The other thing is I find that cold dough tends to bubble in the oven very easily, and you do not want that, especially for this style. Check the chat real quick. Yes, it is cornmeal. It's the same cornmeal that I used for the dough itself. We want to stretch this to about 14 inches. Because what happens, our goal is 13, right? So we stretch it to 14 because, you know, as something bakes, moisture comes out, it's going to shrink a little bit in the oven. So we're going to stretch to about 14 inches. It's handy to have a little tape measure. Even though we're rolling this out, we're still going to get those little bubbles from the fermentation. You know, in places like Chicago, you'll see sometimes they'll use like a sheeter. They'll run it through a machine, presses it flat. Really, there's so many methods to doing this kind of pizza. I just find that this way has been the best for my intents and purposes. This dough is very, very slack from the long fermentation. Got my cousin here today. Yes. He's monitoring the chat, and we're gonna probably play Street Fighter after we make this. I find this kind of pizza is really good for like parties. You know, because you cut it into like little squares. It's like, you know, you can easily just play like Street Fighter or whatever game you want and like have your pizza easily, right?
Which pizza do you think is best for Street Fighter, in your opinion?
The best one for Street Fighter? Well, I'm gonna ask the chat. This recipe is Akuma approved. Oh, wow.
Dude, who even said that? What a genius.
I wanted to do a series on like Street Fighter themed pizzas. You know, like because the different characters are from different countries. So you would have like, let me think. You know, like an Indian pizza after Dalzine because he's from India.
Oh, it's
like,
Adam.
Oh, was that?
It was Adam.
What's up, man? Thanks for joining. That's funny. Roll this out more. I'm gonna dock this in a second. If you get like a little buckling like this, you can just kind of like open it up. Watch out for thin spots. Make sure you do roll it out all the way. You don't want it too thin in one area and thicker in the other. Mainly because if it's thinner, right, it's less surface area, it's going to burn much more easily. So try to keep it even. One more time this way. This recipe is Akuma approved. Okay, all right. This is about, let's see, yeah, we've got like 14 inches. Cool. I'm gonna start docking this. I'm gonna be a little careful around here. You can kind of see it's thinning out. Okay. Whoops. There. Okay, so we're docking so we can keep the thin crust of this, right? We don't want it to... We are leavening, right? This is still gonna leaven, just in a way that's not gonna like really blow up, right? We still get those little micro blisters, whatever you wanna call them. Be careful with the docking. You don't wanna like lift this. If you do, you can just pinch it back together. There. I know sometimes what they'll do is they'll take a pizza cutter for this, right, to get the perfect shape. They'll go around, you know, to get it like really like even all through. I find, for me, not really necessary, but you're totally welcome to do that. If you find that like you really want like a super round pizza, like this one that I did before, it's not perfectly round. That's fine, whatever. But if that's important to you, you know, you can get like a little guide and just like kind of cut around it. This is already pretty slack, but if it was a little firmer, I would probably take this and like still do a little more stretching. I don't want to because this is, I don't want to risk further tearing this. So I'm gonna throw this in the oven. You want to bake this at around like 500, 525. Let me check the chat.
My mom's watching.
Hello.
She says you're explaining nicely.
Oh, thank you. Oh, how long do you ferment the Poolish? Poolish, it's ready when it's ready, right? So like if you put, it's gonna be dependent on how warm the water is, how warm the temperature of the room is, how much yeast you put. So it can be anywhere from like 12 to 18 hours, sometimes longer. I think, you know, I think I mentioned before, Jimmy Hank was in the chat. He uses a Poolish. I know he goes very long with his ferment, and I think you use a Poolish, right, Jimmy? But yeah, you can do. It's gonna vary, right? It's ready when it's ready. It should smell very yeasty when it's ready. All right. Okay, I'm just dusting cornmeal on the peel. Now look, so this is we're gonna par bake this, right? There's no sauce going on it, right? There are some versions that use sauce. They'll bake it with the sauce and they'll add the cheese. I like just doing this, just so I have like the shell ready. I find if you bake it with the sauce, it can get a little potentially messy, right? Like adding more moisture to this will make it like really slack. it might seep through the little holes we made. So I like just doing it this way. Transfer this over. Okay, see that? Alright, and this is going to slide very easily because there's no, toppings on top. It's just our dough. And then I like to pour bake this for about 3 minutes and take it out. Where's my temp gun? I think I lost it. There it is. I'm at 500. You guys see that? Okay. Alright, pretend you're watching me launch this in the oven. Okay. Start timer. 3 minutes. Okay. Okay. Do we have any questions in the chat? Will you publish? Yeah, I'll add this recipe. I'm gonna try to upload the stream once it saves. Once it's done, it should save, and then once I upload everything, I'll share it. This borrows heavily from Pizza Bible. Okay. So after about 3 minutes, it should kind of look like that. Any questions so far? It's about 1 minute in. It's back up there. Okay, almost a minute and a half. Oh, you know, you can talk sauce and cheese blend. Do you want color in the par bake? Yeah, you want like just as it's starting to brown, right? Let me show you guys again. See that? Right, because keeping in mind, right, we're going to finish this with the rest of the ingredients. If you're par bake, right, if it's starting to like bubble up, I like to like just like flatten it with the peel. Yeah, that's something you can do. You can also kind of flatten it once it comes out of the oven as well. You've done the grandma style twice. Awesome. Okay, sauce. So, we got 30 seconds left. But, real quick, 1 part tomato paste, 3 parts crushed tomato, salt, oregano, olive oil, immersion blender. And just a very most basic way to explain that. So pick your favorite brand. You know, guys like Ryan and I, we like Stanislaw tomatoes, just really like the best. I didn't get any for today, but you know, use your favorite. All right, we're 3 minutes. Okay. So that's our par bake. Put on a cooling rack. I don't know if you guys can see, but just trying to get this little browning on the edge over there. Bubbles are going crazy with this, right? If you see like big bubbles like this, you can like push it out. Careful if it's hot. Check the bottom. See, just starting to brown. Let that cool real quick. So what we'll do with this, we'll pop and bake, and that's it. Bottom, please, again. There it is. And it's a little loose right now, but like as it cools, it'll harden a little more. And again, you can keep it in the fridge, keep it wrapped. It may misshapen. You might want to like keep it, keep something on it from, I guess, warping, right? Like weigh it down with something. Okay. While it's still cooling, okay, I'm gonna talk cheese blend real quick. All right, how do I say this? So, from my understanding, in Chicago, they usually use mozzarella. I've heard of using blends like mozzarella and provolone, you know, some other hard cheeses with mozzarella. This is my version of this, right? So, I like to use this blend for a couple different pizzas I make, and this sauce actually. So, this is a 2-to-1 blend of white cheddar and mozzarella. I like using this for my Detroit style. I find it gives you the nice like cheese crown on the side, good flavor. I like using it for New England Greek style. I like using it for bar style pizza, which is like pretty close to this. So I like that this is very versatile. You know, if I have a big batch, I can just keep it in the freezer, and then whatever style I want to make, I can just kind of apply it to that. Does that make sense? I like using Cabot, if I can find it, for my white cheddar. It's a really good blend. Cheddar is also like a very fatty cheese. So I was talking a little earlier about how much cheese, right? This is about close to 200 grams, right? You go from like 180 to 200. Keeping in mind, right, like the more moisture, the more fats you have, the more it's going to affect your bake, right? So you might want to blend this with like a part skim, right? With like less fat. So if you use like a part skim mozzarella in your blend, but I guess like let's walk it back, right? Why is it important, right? Like if this style we're aiming for like a crispy crust, you might not want more moisture, more fats affecting your bake. Does that make sense? Cooper Sharp, yeah, that's a really popular one. Okay, what's next? Yeah, I think you can just bake this. Okay. Okay, sauce. You need about like 65 grams. You don't have to go too crazy, right? Like again, we want a crispy crust, right? So the more moisture we have, the more that's going to affect our bake, right? So be mindful of how much sauce you're using. We use the tomato paste, right? We don't want a really runny sauce for this. So we want something that's like easy to spread. The paste helps with that. If you make it a day before, I find it's able to be not as runny. I guess there's like some evaporation going on or whatever, but I find that making this sauce a day ahead is really helpful. Cooper Sharp is American, not cheddar. I didn't know that. Thank you. Here's a quick trick. So I put the spoon away. I like actually using a pastry brush for getting the sauce around for this, right? Because look, this is par baked, right? It's gonna be very easy to get this to the edge. I did a pop-up with my friend Lars Smith at State of Mind out in Los Altos, and I think he might have been the one who showed me this, or it's just kind of like happened maybe by itself, but this yeah, we did this for the pop-up, and I was like, wow, this is like such an easy way to, sauce this style pizza. Like, you can really kind of get close to the edge here. You don't have to do this. Obviously, you can use a spoon. I just find it's really easy to dial it in this way. And I think by going to the edges, you're able to kind of like protect your crust, so to speak. Like, let's say you're going to finish this in uni, which can get super hot. I find that if you kind of protect the crust with your sauce, right, the moisture, you're less likely to overcook it and burn it. Just a little more in there. Pizza painting is a new thing. My dad's a painter. Well, we got a Saturday morning pizza. He's an artist. Make sure it's even. You don't want like lumping in one area, right? Because again, moisture. You don't want too much moisture in one area affecting our bake. Okie dokie. So I pre-measured this. I can just dump this as is. I don't have to like do guesswork. I can just dump it and just spread it out. Spread it out evenly. Looks a little like Lunchables, but I assure you, this is much better than that. And look, we can take our time with this, right? Because it's par-baked, right? Don't have to worry about dough sticking, anything like that. There's so many great things about like this method, this style of pizza. I'm from New York, right? This is a style that's like prominent in Chicago, but like I feel anyone tries this just falls in love with it. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, I'm gonna put this in we're gonna monitor it. I'm gonna think maybe I'm gonna check it around 6 minutes. I'm guessing 8. Timer. Okay. Hey, what's up, Gary? So you're at a Neapolitan pizzeria watching someone make Chicago-style pizza in New York. Guys, who should I pick when I play Street Fighter later with Seitan? Sakura. But, okay, so, alright, Seitan, are we playing Street Fighter 2 or Alpha?
Let's play Alpha.
Okay, we're gonna play Alpha. Alpha 1, 2, or 3.
Alpha
Ballroom.
3? Oh.
Blanca. Alright, it's 1 minute. Blanca probably likes pineapple and pizza. Oh, guys, you want to see? Did you want to show them your shirt? Guys.
Yeah, sure.
Alright, you want to see something blasphemous in the name of pizza? It's the reveal.
It's the pineapple shirt.
Sorry, guys. Oh, everyone left the chat. No, I'm kidding.
Yo, shut up. You just had some more people as soon as that happened.
Oh, nice. 18 people. Can I say though, this style of pizza is really good pineapple. The whole pineapple and pizza thing, I feel like that argument, that whole debate, right? Like, it depends on what kind of pizza, right? This style of pizza, if you have like a nice like salty meat, whatever, would pair really well with this kind of pizza, right? You have this kind of cheese I'm using, right? Cheddar, which I find pairs really well with pineapple and different kinds of meats. So yeah, don't hate on it. Just like think about where it can work. I'm gonna aim for 8 minutes. It's almost 2.5. I'll probably turn it. I'm gonna check on it in. Let's try it with 3 minutes. Let's just see how it's doing. Every oven's different, right? So I don't want to tell you like, oh, you should bake it for this amount. Hey Tom, where'd you get that shirt?
Pineapple Republic.
Pineapple. Okay, it's 3 minutes. I just want to take a look. Aiming it properly. That's where we are right now. So we want the cheese to melt more. I'm gonna give it a turn. I'm gonna give that another 3 minutes before I check on it. Alright. What's up?
Huh?
Do you want to say something?
No. Just looking at the pizza, looking at the goods, you know? Also, if you need me to, like, hold the camera, I can do that. Get some better shots, right?
We need it. Pineapple and jalapeno. Yeah. Pineapple and jalapeno, something like pepperoni, I feel like really good combo. Yeah, I like using a timer because, you know, I'm not aiming for a specific time. I just want to know how much time has passed, right? Because it's all relative. Right? It's relative to, like, the ingredients that are on top, the kind of oven we're using. I'm going to do another pizza after this one, right? I'm going to use some very, I guess, like wet ingredients, whatever you want to call it. It might take more time to bake. Pineapple, scallion, sriracha mayo. Oh man. You know what? Maybe I'll just set you guys up here. Yeah. Just real quick. There we go. Taylor Ham. I haven't seen anyone in the stream yet hate on pineapple, so it's a good thing.
I think it's questionable.
You're the one wearing the shirt, so.
I know, that's not a contradiction.
Alright, got any other questions here? We're almost at 6 minutes. Might take 8 minutes, might take longer, we'll see. Check on this. Okay, it's bubbling nicely. Yeah, I think it's gonna take at least 2 or 3 more minutes. You know, if I used less cheese, it might have taken less time, but it's all good. It's part of the learning process. Have I tried making a pretzel crust? You mean like using like pretzel salt or pretzel dough? What do you mean exactly by that? Not really. I haven't really. I do like making different kinds of breads. I haven't really explored pretzel yet. For the next one, we're gonna do a little giardiniera, which is like pickled vegetables and some hot sausage. It's in the fridge. I'll get that out once we are ready for that one. Does everyone here have Hecker's Sarasota flour where they are? I know it can be a little harder to find certain flours. I'm just speaking from my experience in New York, but you know, I don't know, like maybe out in Philly, there's something that they have that we don't have here. Sarasota is the name they used, I believe, like Midwest onward. The Hecker's is what they use, I believe, on the East Coast. Okay, we're at 8 minutes. Let's check on it at 9 minutes. Yeah, talking more about the dough here. I've seen versions of this. You know, the total hydration right now for this is 65, which other recipes I've seen 53% water and like 6 to 8% fat, right? There's so many different ways I've seen people make this style of pizza. All right, let's check on this. Oh, looking good. Oh man.
Oh, slightly.
I'm gonna give it maybe just a little more. Just like 30 seconds. It's ready, but like I just want a little bit more. Why do I prefer Hecker's? You know, the flavor I find really works well with this. The texture, I mentioned earlier that this is like, it is all purpose, but it's like a higher protein, so it's like between all purpose and bread. And I believe it's a winter wheat. So it gives like a different flavor compared to like a hard spring wheat, which is what you would see in like King Arthur all-purpose flour. All right, look at that.
Mamma mia.
Mamma mia. I'm gonna find a cooling rack. I'm gonna move this here. You guys see that center? Looks pretty good, right? Alright, what do you think, guys? We get some pecorino. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I like to finish this with pecorino romano. As soon as it's out of the oven, just so that we get like the residual heat to help this melt a little bit nicely. See that as soon as it hits the pizza, it's like melting. extra virgin olive oil. And then we're gonna finish. We're gonna dust with oregano. Again, the heat's gonna help this bring out the flavor of the oregano, the fragrance. Some chili flakes. That's it, man. Is that fresh oregano? Yeah, let me show you guys. My mom brought me this oregano.
That's looking all right.
From Turkey. And I just ran it through a little mini blender before we started here. So, it's good stuff. Okay, I'm gonna cut this. Whoops. I think most people in the chat are familiar with party cut, or the tavern cut, whatever you want to call it. Just do this here real quick.
What's that? I don't know.
So it's like, I think most people are familiar with a slice of pizza, right? Which is like a wedge.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to cut this like a grid. I think they call it party cut, tavern cut, things like that. Makes it easy to share. The other thing is okay, so we're talking about using a Poolish earlier, right? I find that using that really helps with kind of the pizza from that falling apart once it's a square, right? I'll show you in a second. It'll make more sense. Right, you hear that, right? It's good. Crispy, thin, crispy. I don't know. What more would you want? See that? It's your party cut. Take a slice here. I'll show you this. Let me see. See that? There's no flop there. I'm gonna turn this upside down. Very nice bake. See that? It's not like paper thin, right? It's very thin. It's like a cracker. Okay. And that is it. Thank you guys. Somewhere Steve Dolinsky's ears are ringing. Maybe. I'm gonna try. Can I take a photo of this while I'm streaming? Is that a thing? I'll stay there for a sec. All right, we're back. We're back, baby. Cool. All right. I'm gonna make another one. I'm gonna do hot sausage jardinera. Do we have any questions so far? The seitan on a slice. Let's do a seitan thing.
That's what I'm here for. Oh, this is a thin boy. Oh yeah. That's crispy and chewy.
Yeah.
How do you do it?
I just showed you.
God damn. That's really good.
Yeah. Alright, get this out of here. Give us a seitan so we can eat it. Let me done.
Well, this is going to finish, guys.
You guys are still here, right? I went offline for a sec. I don't know if the chat got lost.
Cornmeal's nice too. Little.
Yeah, the cornmeal has like a crunch.
Yeah.
Alright. So the next one, I know it's still here.
We lost a few people though.
Lost a few people. Who's still here? Can you say something in the chat? Did you write something?
Me?
Yeah. There you go. Okay. Alright. I'm going to do the next one, whoever's still here, and then we'll wrap it up after that. Give you a slice. I'd love to, Michael. Okay, so we're going to take that other par baked crust we had earlier and kind of do the same thing. And get the cheese. Guys, thanks for joining. I really appreciate it. Hope you guys had fun. You guys learned something. Fortunately, you didn't get to eat, but you know, now you can make your own. And then if you have questions, just hit me up. Happy to answer.
I don't know how much is gonna be left.
Well, I got
By the time we're done.
I got one more dough after this, so we're good. We are good. Happy little trees. Just happy little trees.
Are you using the same cheese as the first one?
Yeah, the same cheese. This is the same blend they use at Boston Pizza.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah. When I started doing Detroit style, I just used the same blend we had in house because it worked perfectly.
Like the same dough, the same.
Yeah, everything was the same.
Interesting.
Yeah, those early ones were they're great.
Mm. That's true. I think you're overdue for a little Detroit style.
Yeah, I gotta plan one.
Go back to your namesake.
Boston Pizza?
Well, I guess I haven't had one of your Detroits in a long time.
Yeah, I haven't. Actually, like, part of, well, I started in this too, because, like, this uses, like, half the cheese that, I use on a Detroit style. You know, I use about, like, 400 grams, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is 200 grams. So you're not using as much cheese.
Ah.
Okay. Good. Okay, pinch some sausage onto this. From what I've learned, you want to pinch the sausage pretty small in this, like a dime size. Because if it's too big, it's not gonna cook. Right? You kind of want the fats on this to like meld all over the pizza, and it's gonna help the vegetables cook. Add interesting flavor. Yeah, just don't add big chunks. Add like little dime size. I've seen the Chicago guys, like, they do this, like, I can't even, like, imitate it, but, like, the way they pinch the sausage and add it to the pizza is just, it's mesmerizing. We got this from the farmer's market that we are just a couple blocks from. So we're fortunate to live near there. A lot of the pizzas I make, I'll get ingredients from the farmer's market. This might take a little longer to bake because of the vegetables, right? There's going to be more moisture coming out. But there's the fats from the sausage, right? Which might help it cook faster. So we're gonna take a look. We're gonna monitor it. And yeah.
Does it matter what temperature the things on there are? Like the vegetables?
Like the temperature of the vegetables themselves?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like that can actually affect, right? Like if your sauce is cold, right, and you're baking a cold sauce right out of the fridge, like you just gotta like think of it scientifically, right? It's gonna
cool the whole thing down.
Yeah, it has to like come to temperature.
So you want room temp before you put it on there?
Yeah, I mean, just be mindful of that, right? Like, but you don't want your sauce just sitting out all day because it's gonna like go bad. Okay, put this in the oven. Almost at the top of the hour. You've only had the Detroit at Boston Pizza pop-up. I remember, man. That was cool. You came. I think, was that the first time we met in person?
I'm just sorry,
My mom loves this style. Yeah, my mom does not like Neapolitan. Alright. Now we'll bake this one off and then we'll call it a night. Who's still here? We got Michael. Is there a way to tell who's in the chat? Yeah, Michael came to my Detroit style pop-up at my family's pizzeria that I used to do. This was like kind of early in my pizza making quote-unquote career. I forgot to put the timer. Whoops. Any other questions, guys? I think we're just kind of like hanging out right now, but yeah, it's just fun. I like doing this. I want to do this on like a regular basis. Maybe I'll put like a poll for whatever concept or style that people want to like focus on, and then maybe that week I'll stream. And yeah, it'll be like a weekly thing that we can do. Thank you. The time for the bake, I'm going to take a look, let's say 4 minutes, see where it's at. I have a feeling it's going to be like before, where it's going to be like 8 minutes. If you're doing a lot of pizzas back to back, you might want to just like take a look at your oven, your stone, your steel, whatever. Just like check, make sure it's up to temp. You want to bake it like 450, 470. You want like at least 500 for this kind of pizza. Otherwise, it's gonna take very long, and you know it'll be like cracker-like, but not in a good way. Michael W, you're gonna try making this style pizza? I know you're a fan of Emmett's. I think Emmett's was one of the first places, that and Pizza Rock in Vegas. Those were the first places where I had this style of pizza, and I was blown away. It's like, you see it, and it's like, okay, like, it's a round pizza, whatever, but, like, once you bite into it, it's like, okay, now I get it. Just gonna take a look. Alright. What style should I do next? I was thinking about maybe doing a bar style for the next week or whenever I do the next stream. I would do that in a pan. So I have my pan right here. Yeah, I got this little 10-inch bar style pan I like doing my bar pizzas in. Maybe we'll do that for the next one.
Say hi to Nora.
Oh, Nora, you're here? Are you in the chat, Nora, or are you just watching? I don't know, you have to actually like, put your name in?
You probably have to log in, so she probably,
She came over. We're making pizzas here. I think that's what I like about this platform, though. You can just kind of like, someone can give you the link and you can just like join the stream.
Boom.
That's it.
It's just boom.
It's just boom. I'm gonna do a secret one once the chat is done. I'll post it later. Bait looks good. Is Nora texting you?
Yeah.
You ever do something on camera, Nora?
I have no idea if she's still on or not.
Oh. We got 9 viewers, so. Yeah, we're at the end, guys, so. Yeah, we'll take the pizza out, take a look, and then if you have any other questions, I'll answer them, and then we'll wrap it up after that.
Okay, she's still watching and she's mad that she doesn't have the pizza.
Wait, oh, she's mad? I have a box.
Wait, actually, I'll bring some back.
Yeah. See,
You're done. Your anger has solved an issue.
Become prepared. Your anger has solved an issue. It's funny. And I think I might actually finish this one with some hot oil. These guys at ODP Oil sent me some, so it gives a real kick. Really like it. Yeah, the timer's at 6.5. I started it late, so maybe we're closer to like 7. Yeah. spicy. Looking good. So, I'm gonna keep going. I want the cheese to brown really well on this. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna give it like 2 minutes. We'll check on it in 2 minutes. Notes here. I think I touched on all the points. Docker, the rolling pin, the cornmeal, dough. Yes, remember I mentioned having the vegetables, right? That moisture is going to bake out, so it's going to extend the bake time. But meanwhile, the bottom of the crust is probably like really well done. So yeah, keep that all in mind, right? It's all relative. The heat source, the amount of moisture, it's all, it's science. Look. Keep going. We're going. Keep going. I wish I could tell who's here. It just tells me that there's 10 viewers.
Yeah. You can't look through all of them.
Yeah. There is a viewer list.
Oh, is there? I am.
I see there's view upper right corner of the chat. Users. Oh, thank you.
Oh, maybe only you can do it. Since you're the streamer. Nope.
Yeah, I see it now. Okay.
Nope, I can do it too.
Thank you. The more you know. Yeah, I really felt like out of my element when I was first trying to like learn anything about this platform. So, just like the pizza making, right? Like you start somewhere and you just grow over time.
Are we boomers?
No.
Okay.
Alright, I don't want to keep you guys too long, but there it is. I'm gonna keep baking this actually, but I think we can wrap up the chat. Any last questions from anyone? Oh, that's a bot? Damn. Thank you, Cheese Pizza. Appreciate that. Okay. Unless there's any more questions, I'm gonna wrap it up now. Thank you guys, really appreciate it. Well, yeah, I guess I'll see you in the next demo. Thank you.